All right, Sunday drop. That's right. We like doing the Sunday drop. I'm actually on a location out in Missouri. I'm at my daughter's house. We've got a week planned of vacation here, but I'm taking some time to do our World Cup segment. We're catching up with Adam Jividen, Super Browns fan, Super Brown. Heck, you know who he is. But we're going to be talking World Cup soccer. We're doing a World Cup segment. Of course, USA didn't win. No big surprise there. But Adam, first of all, how are you? Happy 4th of July week, the birth of our country 250 years ago.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Uh, I'm excited. I think we're getting old enough where like the boys will be able to stay up late enough to go to fireworks, which is
Right.
cool. We weren't sure, but I think we're there. So yeah, really looking forward to it. I mean, this is the as a soccer lifer,
Uh,
this week ahead is like it's the best week because it's just nonstop big time matchup after big time matchup after big time matchup for the whole week. And then it'll
uh,
slow down again. It kind of like the way that the NCAA tournament does. But we have hit the spot where realistically, with this round of 32, um, there are there are going to be some good games, but then the next round, the round of 16, is where you are talking heavyweights just going at it for the chance to be crowned best in the world. And there are going to be some incredible matchups to discuss.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? How exciting it is to have the World Cup, one the largest ever, not only in the United States but Canada and Mexico. But we're focusing on the United States on the 250th celebration. It's just an exciting time. USA is doing great. Didn't win against Turkey, but still in very good position, winning in their Group D with Australia and Paraguay and Turkey. But real quickly, let's talk about the USA in the stage, and we've talked about this. They are the best of all. The USA survives the real tournament now. The real tournament begins, and the World Cup knockout madness begins. And Adam, you're going to walk us through it. Let's talk about the good USA. Again, it's the 4th of July weekend, 250 years. Let's talk about the USA.
This first off, I know there were some soccer fans that were like that just looked up and saw the U.S. lost to Turkey, and they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like clutching their pearls. Like,
Well, you and I
guys, it's
talked offline. Like,
yeah.
there's
I
there's
literally
no
said
motivation for
it's
them
not
to
a big
win.
deal, and literally we started our B team, and they only scored that game winning goal in the closing minutes of stoppage time. So we're talking like in Turkey, there was no way they could have gone home pulling an offer. They would have been killed because by many they were expected to come in and actually win the group. Virtually any talking head you heard said Turkey was going to win the stage or win the group, and then U.S. was going to be basically playing for second, and many had U.S. destined for a third place finish in the group. So yeah, I mean they didn't have anything to play for. A lot of the guys that would be needed for some minutes, maybe at the end of games, to hold on to leads or to make a push, were able to get minutes that are going to be really helpful. Hopefully in future matchups. So the game against Turkey it wasn't it was nothing. It didn't There was nothing
Right.
there. There's nothing to be gleaned from it. When you have Zlatan, who's on the Fox coverage, who they're like, "What
There's
did you
no
take from
there
the
there.
U.S.?" He literally went, "Nothing. It doesn't matter." You saw that by the fact that like it was the entire B team, and even then, it took Turkey everything they could to beat our B team.
Yeah.
So I'm and at the same time, it does put some good things that you can practice off of in the week ahead. So honestly, like I'm fine with it. It's kind of like the old adage, Tom, where like it's that late season of like an NFL or really college football campaign where you're going, yeah, but who have they beaten recently?
Right.
And for the US, if they just would have like walked past Turkey because of the increase in difficulty, um, it would have been one of those things where you're going, I would have liked them to have been challenged. So the fact that they got a loss, they have things that they can work on defensively, in the goalkeeping. Frankly, it makes me feel better. It'll keep them motivated. It'll keep them driven to go, hey guys, we can't just expect to walk in and get the dub.
Right. Absolutely. Well, the atmosphere, this has been the first time I think probably in my lifetime that it's been here in the United States, or at
Nope,
least in
94.
94. Okay. Well, there we go. Well, I don't remember much about it then, but I am just loving the atmosphere that's going on right now across North America. Let's kind of go through these groupings in Group A. And speaking of North America, Mexico's got a stronghold there, South Africa, Korea Republic, in Chesnia. But Mexico, again, they're a team to look forward to watching in the World Cup.
Yeah, Mexico's really played well so far in this World Cup, but their second round matchup is one of the ones that I highlighted to you before we kicked off here, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
This matchup against Ecuador is one of the games of the round.
Mm-hmm.
Ecuador is incredibly strong defensively. They're probably one of the best defensive squads in the entire tournament. The thing that I would be looking for with this one is Ecuador going to be able to score? One of probably their best match of the entire group stage was their matchup against Ivory Coast, and Ivory Coast won the game on basically some. They got some shots on goal and one slid through, but if you looked at the game, Ecuador really dominated the control of the ball, dominated the passing in the middle of the field. They just couldn't put the ball in the net. So, knowing this is a very strong defensive team, and Mexico is traditionally strong offensively, this is going to be one of those, all right, who's better? Is offense going to win or is defense going to win?
Right. So let me ask you this. And we've got an expanded tournament. Has the larger field actually worked out this time around? You think it's something that is exactly as they anticipated, or not quite so much?
I know there's some people that haven't liked it. I do like the concept of the expanded field. I wish they have to figure out how to. They don't have to give the same number of bids by region. That's dumb, because like, for example, like Italy is much better than like Uzbekistan. Like, holy crap, they've been getting smoked in every game. There's just, they have to figure out how to balance it out a little bit. Where I mean, I think of it like this, Tom. Like, the Big Ten and the SEC have more college football playoff teams than the freaking Big 12 or ACC. Why? Because the conference is better. Right. So, like, similarly, I think to hold European teams to the same structure as you would teams that are in the Middle East, when the Middle East quality of play is so much worse, is dumb. So they have to figure out some way to make it balanced long term, because this structure ain't getting it done in terms of having the best teams in the field. I think that's one of the things that was really harped with the expanded college football playoff that we heard a lot, right? Is they want to get the best teams on the field. And there are some of the better teams in the world that were staying at home to give an opportunity to a team that just kind of got dusted. We saw this with the CFP last year. For example, James Madison getting in over Texas. I'll use them as an example. Like, that should not have happened under any circumstances.
Right.
And it's a similar thing. Think of like the James Madison, Texas as a Uzbekistan versus Italy.
I got you. Well, let's kind of go through the groups just real quickly. I want to do a rapid fire here. Group A, Mexico. Group B, Switzerland. Group C, Brazil. Group D, USA. Group E, Germany. Group F, the Netherlands. Group G, Belgium. Group H, Spain. Group I, France. Group J, Argentina, and Group L, England. Those are all your top teams. We're looking at now. We're going to chop it away to this Sweet 16, if you will, or the top 16. So, um, you know, necessarily leading the group doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the group and go on. But look at maybe bring us up to speed as you look through those teams and those games. Who's controlled the most matches? Who's created the most chances? And who should we be looking at through those groups? Whether it be the first, in first place, second place, but some teams like Brazil stand out to me. Obviously, USA, a great position to do well here. Argentina as well. So talk with us across the grouping. Who do you see emerging when the dust settles out of the group at 32?
Out of the group of 32, if we just take like a quick walk through kind of the individual matchups real fast. Paraguay, again, solid squad, was in the U.S. bracket, played better after that U.S. game, but they're playing Germany, and Germany right now is they're just humming. That's an easy, I think, win for Germany. France, Sweden. France is they're just killing people. I mean, they're playing incredibly well.
Yes.
So I've got France taking down Sweden. South Africa, Canada. To me, that's a coin flip. I don't think, frankly, either team is that good, and I think both of them, no matter which team wins that South Africa Canada game, I think it's going to be. I think Morocco is the best team in that little group right there. You got Morocco going against the Netherlands. Morocco made a run to the semifinals in the last tournament. Looked really, really good again this tournament. So I've got the South Africa Canada matchup. Again, I think it's a coin flip, and then ultimately they'll get to Morocco. Portugal, Croatia. That's one of the big ones. Everybody is like really, really high on Portugal because they're like, oh, Cristiano Ronaldo, except that dude is washed. He does not have the speed. He can still shoot it, but he is a liability out there more often than not. So I'm going into this. I know Portugal is going to be the slight favorite, but if you're going to go like our old over-under, Tom, I would pick Croatia in an upset more than I would feel really confident about Portugal. Then you're talking another superweight in Spain. Spain is going up against Austria. That should be a pretty simple win. I think Spain's far superior.
Yeah, they're young, they're fast, they're very creative. Spain is a team to look at. Let's talk about the Netherlands, and you and I believe earlier this week or even before long, the Netherlands are just really very one of those dangerous stealth type weapons that are doing damage and without anybody recognizing it.
Yeah, they are. Morocco's brought back mostly the same team from the last tournament, and this is where I think Morocco is going to lean on their experience to take that matchup. And then that takes us to the U.S. bracket, where you're talking the U.S. against Bosnia. That game is Wednesday night. It is at 8:00. I believe that game is going to be played in California. Yep, at the 49er Stadium, Levi's Stadium. I've got the U.S. taking that game. Like, Bosnia has played well. I'm not saying that we are going to overlook Bosnia, but this freaking U.S. team, I hate to say it, but they look like the Knicks. We look like a team of destiny. Like,
yes,
early on in the playoffs.
Who would have ever said that about the Knicks, though?
Right. Yeah. Hey, is this the year? And everybody was like, I don't know, until like it became very obvious. Holy crap, it is. I just think, again, every time the U.S. takes the pitch, the crowd is,
insane,
unbelievable, and I expect that to continue out there in the Bay Area at Levi's Stadium on Wednesday night, and then that would take us to a matchup between Belgium and Senegal for the winner to face the U.S. On July the 6th. I've got Belgium right now as the slight favorite. That game is going to be back up in Seattle. And the reason why that's a big freaking deal, Tom, is that Seattle, think of what happened, the Beast Quake, We had another earthquake caused by the fans on the second goal by Alex Freeman against Australia. That crowd is going to be in a frenzy, and I expect Lumen Field to be rocking to take the U.S. all the way to the group of 8. And then the next group is a really big one. Brazil, I think, beats Japan, but Brazil has not looked like the Brazil we kind of expect when we hear that name. And they are going to play what will be the best matchup. So if you are a casual soccer fan, you're like, Adam, I have not watched the World Cup. I don't really watch soccer, but man, I'm getting into it. If you could pick one game besides the U.S. to watch in this upcoming round, watch the Ivory Coast against Norway. You are talking two of the best young talents with the Ivory Coast having, oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name. You got me rolling in that way. I'm
Cape Verde, Morocco.
No, not Cape Verde. A player. Jan Diomande.
Jan
Diomande is one of the hottest young free agents who is going to be pursued. He's pursued by Liverpool, and he's pursued by, I think, Barcelona. I've heard Bayern tossed out there. So, like, the heavyweights are going to get on pursuit of this kid. He's 19, but he will be matched up against Erling Haaland, who is it's either him or Kylian Mbappe, who's the best pure scorer in the world. Haaland is an absolute machine, plays for Manchester City. Really, really nice dude. But he is long blonde hair, but he is just a demon around the goal. And so that is going to be the game of this round of 32. So tune in to the Ivory Coast against Norway. That game is going to be, I believe, Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So set your DVR or whatever you've got. England, Congo, I think England wins. England's looked great so far. Argentina, Cape Verde. Cape Verde is probably going to give up a hat trick to Messi. Australia, Egypt. I think the Socceroos are going to be knocked out here by Egypt. And then again, Switzerland, Algeria. I've got the Swiss winning. And then Colombia, Ghana. I think Colombia advances.
Adam Jividen, a super Browns fan, super Buckeyes fan, super Guardians fan, a super Cavs fan, great prognosticator, and now the official Super World Cup fan. We're going to rapid fire here. We've only got a few more minutes left in this segment. We got to wrap it up, put a bowl in it. Is this already the best USMNT roster ever assembled, Adam?
Yes. Period.
No need to phone a friend or anything like that.
Nope. Listen, this isn't even me. When you have Clint Dempsey, one of the best scorers in U.S. history, Landon Donovan, one of the best, maybe the best overall player in U.S. history, Tim Howard, the best goalkeeper we've ever had, said this is the best roster we've ever seen. End of discussion.
Pochettino, and I know I just butchered that name all the heck, proving American soccer needed an elite international manager, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we had one for a while in Jurgen Klinsmann, and we ran into some philosophical differences that led to him leaving the team. And I think Poke has been the perfect manager for the U.S. men's national team. Absolutely pulling all of the right strings.
We also got to ask, is Messi, is this his final World Cup masterpiece?
I mean, he's already said this is it. He's 38. He'd be 42 when we play again. I don't think he wants to play that long. One of the things that historically happens with some of the South American superstars is they hold on too long, and they always look like a shell of themselves in that last run. And Messi wants to go. I think Messi wants to go out remembered as what he was. When you hang on too long, it diminishes the legacy, and he doesn't want to do that.
We look at countries who act like they're bigger than they are, sound like they're bigger and better than they are. Let's call them, you use the word fraud, but just for purposes of conversation, which country has been the biggest fraud so far?
I mean, obviously there are some teams that did not advance out of the group stages, like Turkey, that were expected to. I think the one that everybody talks about just because they have Cristiano Ronaldo is Portugal. Like the fact that I've heard some people go like, "Oh, Portugal's going to win." Why? Because Cristiano Ronaldo. And you're like, "Stop it." That just means you don't watch soccer. Like you just don't. Like that would be like here's the thing. Tom, does anybody expect Aaron Rodgers to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to the freaking Super Bowl because he's Aaron Rodgers? No,
There's probably segments that do, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because he's an old man that is not he's not what he once was. But because he plays in the Saudi Arabia League and people don't like watch him and they don't know what to look for, they're going, "Oh wow, look at him." And you're like, but he's not half as good as some of the players that he's going to go up against. I think especially again if Portugal makes it past Croatia and plays Spain, I think they're going to get just dusted.
We got a few underdogs that we're looking at. Which underdog do you think is the most dangerous? Canada, Morocco, Cape Verde. That sounds like something you put on a burrito. Or South Africa.
Man, I wouldn't put Morocco. Again, they made the semifinal in the last tournament. I wouldn't put them as an underdog. I think the underdog that I would pick, and I know I'm going off reservation, I would pick Ivory Coast. Okay. They have been good before. They exploded onto the scene with Chelsea striker Didier Drogba. And this team is very, very talented. I mentioned that game against Norway is the game of the round with this round of 32.
Let's talk about the USA again. If they were to reach the semifinals, would they rank in the top rankings of all American teams in U.S. history? You think about the Dream Team, you think about other teams assembled with the U.S.
I think you almost have to, because again, like if you're talking about, this is what makes it hard, is you're going like, well, but the Dream Team absolutely killed everybody. Or what about the Redeem Team, the one that had Kobe and LeBron and D-Wade and Carmelo and like, but that's the sport that we are already the best at. We just didn't have our best players play. Soccer is the only like major sport. I mean, sure, hockey, but like even then, we won the freaking Olympics. Like, and we win the Olympics like regularly enough now that it's not a thing. The World Cup is so much incredibly harder to win because of just the structure of the tournament. But at the same time, we've never even gotten close to the semifinals. We've gotten to the quarterfinals before once. And that was a 2002 team. I can tell you, knowing the difficulty of the tournament, knowing how good the rest of the world is, I would say yes. It would be the only feat, I think, if we're thinking like, and especially with what the rest of the world thought of the U.S. soccer. Like, it's always been, well, we're good, but are they that good? Like, nobody questioned how freaking good Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson were.
Yeah,
true. Like, or again, dude, like that team that had freaking Kobe and LeBron and Carmelo, there were some of those games they could have played 3-on-5 and still probably won. Like, they're just that good. Nobody expects a semifinal run out of the U.S. The only thing from a U.S. sporting history that I think is more unlikely, and it keeps on getting played, and every single time I get so pumped, is the Miracle on Ice.
Yes.
And here's the thing is that if this team can somehow channel a finals run, which again, we'd have to take down some massive teams. And there's that Pepsi commercial where it's like, oh my gosh, the U.S. won. Tom, the thought growing up as a kid that played soccer from the time I was 4 years old, the thought of the U.S. winning the World Cup was never even something that entered into my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
And it literally, like, I remember my dad, he told me about how he felt watching that Miracle on Ice team. And he said everybody just, like, they not only cheered, but it was like the whole country, like, burst into tears of joy. That's how it would feel. Like,
we're gonna make a
so
bold
close.
We're going to make a bold prediction here on the balance, and that is that the U.S. reaches the quarterfinals. But that said, if you was to make a logical assessment, who wins the World Cup, or are you ready to make that yet?
I mean, right now, it still looks like we are on a path. The two teams that have looked the best, and it's who I said 3 weeks ago, was France and Argentina.
I don't disagree. All right, Adam Jividen, that's going to wrap it up and put a bow with up on us. I've got to get to some stuff with the grandson. Going to take him to a ball game this afternoon down here in Cape Girardeau, where we're at right now. And going to get working on vacation because a vacation mode is officially on. What's your final words of wisdom for us, sir, for the World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's real simple. Just tune in. Like, if you go, Adam, to which game? Any of them. Just pick one. They're all going to be massive. You're going to see fans explode with excitement no matter what the matchup is. Just watch. Just watch and tune in and watch with the rest of us and see if we've got see if we have a shot. And in the immortal words of Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles?
That's right. All right, go Team USA. Adam, we appreciate you jumping on with us on a Sunday afternoon. I hope you have a great week and a happy 4th, sir.
You too, buddy.
All right, man.